Welcome back, 5 Aces.
Battle control initialized.
Hey people, 5 Aces here. Welcome back to the show, and time to switch it up a little bit. I have previously been recording with OBS, and I have done so for over 6 years, but now I've tried switching over to the NVIDIA internal GeForce whatever recording software, which is apparently pretty good. So apparently it supports native resolution, which has been causing issues with Vegas before with the OBS recording, so let's see if that's going to be better. We are back here in RAGL Season 13, and those two players are recurring ones, and I've received a thorough walloping by both of them in the last season I played in. On the top left, spawning as the classic Ukraine that is tends to go for, Mr. Anjew, the man without a name, and also the man from Upside Down Land, a land down under. And he is facing off against Gacius, who has, I believe, entered RAGL competitive play in Season 12, as far as I'm aware. Oh, this rifleman getting a bit ballsy, but the force fire from Gacius just not enough to put on the finishing touches. Yeah, both very solid players, one of them being rather new, the other one, or to RAGL at least, the other one a mainstay player, a staple of OpenRA competitive. Gacius looks like is going to be able to take the oil derrick with little contest. Reason being that Anjew tends to go full-on greed mode every single game. Wait a sec. Is that a double refinery opener? Is that a flamethrower? Do I smell something burning? That's gonna be some grilled cheese, some halloumi if you've ever been to Greece, which is an amazing, or Cyprus, I guess. It's from this general southern Aegean Sea region of Europe. I guess it's native to, or it's being produced in both countries. All right, let's get into the woodworks. How does this get? What's the state of the game for the time being? There is War Factory online for both, and yes, indeed, there is. Did he sell his flame? No, wait, he's building a second flame tower. What on earth is going on here? Okay, Gacius is gonna know that something's up. There is a flame tower just sitting here randomly. If you're a competitive player and you have even a little bit of a game sense, then you may be aware that something's fishy. Something is certainly awry here. But looks like Anjew has abandoned his plan, so he's just sitting on a useless flamethrower for the time being. Maybe he's gonna revert back to an APC. Nope. It's just standard macro play. It's basically, yep, my bluff has been called. Time to go back to macro mode. He is reverting to his default. And Gacius himself is playing very defensively, does now recognize that there's probably not going to be a flamethrower rush coming anytime soon, so he's moving out his army. 4 harvesters and 3 respectively, so a little bit of a timing advantage here. 4th harvester coming online just now. This map is Abendland, and many people have commented on this last game. Apparently, this just looks very similar to the other map that I think Oops mentioned it in one of the YouTube comments. And TTTPPP also chimed in saying that this is indeed the first season that Abendland is present in the map pool. Which is fair enough, it just reminds me a lot of the other map, whose name eludes me right now. But anyway, macro mode, the big macro game is on for Anjew. And Gacius is following suit here with a very similar game plan. So off the back of this thwarted flamethrower rush, not much early game action, let's be honest, but that gave me time to talk about the NVIDIA situation. The army value, ooh, that's quite a steep discrepancy at the time present. We're gonna take a look at the economy as well. That is a lead for Anjew though, so he must have an extra harvester added to his roster. Also, interestingly enough, Gacius did not yet expand to his northwestern expansion, and that means that he is gonna probably have to park his MCV here. Gives him a little bit of a mining advantage though. That's kind of interesting because then you can move your MCV across the ridge and harvest from a better position, so you can soak up this ore just a little faster, because those tiles are deliberately designed to slow down your harvester. So I wonder, is it maybe worth it to keep that on standby? Gacius has deployed... Oh! He used Shift Q, did you see that? just as the MCV was already in the process of undeploying. Ooh, that is a bad angle for the APC. Oh, he turned around as well. 225 bounty. You never want to see that pop up. Ooh, this was a stacked APC. Yikes. That cost Gacius a lot. Right there. That must have been loaded with 4 rockets, if my math is correct. No, 5. 5 rockets, actually. Yikes. So what Gacius did there was the shift Q trick. It's not a bug anymore because the bug itself got fixed. But there's a little trick in that if you just place a structure just as you're undeploying your MCV with shift Q, you can basically save a couple frames. It's basically speedrunner techniques if you want to get into it. Yeah, it is a little speedrunning technique that you can undeploy your MCV just those couple frames earlier. Anjew's army is very split, but it's an absolutely wide front. And Anjew is just content bleeding tanks for left, right, and center. So front lines have been established, smack dab down the middle. Ooh, this is a new tile. This looks gorgeous. This is not a tile that was present in the originals. Cool. Yeah, forces overwhelming here. Looks like a good engagement for Gacius, who is now sending in the civvies as well. This is a little, a little angry mob. Unfortunately, the AK-47 upgrade is not yet ready. Really good micro here, shaving off the army a little bit. And now they're basically isolated. He is, yeah, those tanks are not gonna get through. So Gacius is running interference with his army between the tank reinforcement lines and the infantry production front lines. So this is pretty good for him. He's now cutting the corner into the enemy base as well. Anjew immediately responding by sending his troops home. Sending home the boys. But that is the killer instinct. Oh, a couple wands popping up. The angry mob is already almost dispersed. Yeah, so first economic blood goes towards Anjew. Goes towards Gacius, but Anjew is now on the rebound, trying to catch the army off guard. And crucially, ooh, Harvester goes down here as well. Crucially, the tanks are woefully out of position, but it may just be enough. Does Gacius have enough? It appears that with the arrival of the tank, he's just got enough staying power to win this engagement. Yep. By not as slim a margin as I had suspected, to be honest. Top side, we're seeing the oil derrick being captured. Ooh, there's a little sneaky detachment. Just 1 rocket in the mix though, so this is gonna take a while to kill anything significant. Ah, Gacius has moved out his original harvesters. He has moved all of his harvesters to the front lines. That is a risky maneuver. Ooh, second harvester being bled here from Anjew as well. It's not looking good for him. His eco is suffering. Second harvester down, 1 refinery down, the third harvester down actually, if my math serves me correctly. Anjew is in the process of frantically rebuilding. Let's check back over to the production tab. It's looking a bit bleak. He's just spamming refineries so he can keep himself afloat. Whereas Gacius is just, yeah, content sitting back here. Sitting back, growing out, maxing his army, relaxing, all cool. All shooting some b-ball outside of the school. MCV is being moved back, but there is an army just waiting in the wings. 1 army from Anjew, 2 tanks, 2 tanks, not exactly leading the charge, leading from behind, you know, providing a morale boost. If you've ever played 0 Hour, you know the importance of the morale boost from the overlords. If you purchase the propaganda upgrade, that is a harvester down for Gacius here. I don't know why he's sending in the tanks last. That's also refinery, so not too bad. Ooh, Anjew has forgotten about his detachment. Well, this game isn't over just yet. There is just a very scary army headed Anjew's way. Oh, yikes. He is standing to lose a lot of ground to this army. Needs maybe some Teslas to deal with this as well, because there is just 6 tanks as frontline. You don't just randomly come back from that. He's also merging with his secondary army. Anjew, why have you forsaken your own army there in the backlines? Gacius has now moved back here, and this is still some solid income for him. Yep, the tank's absolutely getting obliterated. There was just no contest here. What can this little detachment do? Huh, the game isn't over just yet. Let's check the economical situation. There's 51 over 40k, so definitely a certain discrepancy. But I would argue that Anjew is still somewhat on the assault. So as a result, he can still get things done. Yeah, gets a harvester here. If he can get the war factory, that would just stifle the production. That would be a great snipe here. Wait a sec, Gacius is pretty broke. Had to sell off his service depot as well, so no vehicle production for him for the time being. The heavy tanks should just honestly go on an assault move chase across the map. Anjew has managed to produce a sizable army here. Ooh, he's gotta be pushed back hard though. This is knocking at his front door. Yeah, down goes the war factory. Is Gacius producing a secondary war factory? No, doesn't appear to be the case. And oh, the harvester lines got caught just in transition. That is 3 harvesters down in the blink of an eye. Anjew may have actually rebounded despite having the smaller army. He just needs to stop this somehow. Maybe he needs to evacuate his own main base. Appears to be the case here. Yep. Oh, Anjew has never been one to sell his structures off. This gives your opponent so much cash bounty, it also gives them veterancy. Selling off is a crucial feature of OpenRA because it denies your opponent bounty and veterancy. This adds up over the course of a game. Oh, there was a secondary war factory, and it is being sniped as we speak. The problem is there is still a massive army out for Gacius. And Gacius has a lot of time to rebuild. So if we're being honest, yeah, it's still looking a bit bleak. But Anjew also has a secondary army. Where is this game even going? The economy, ooh, it's in shambles. 6 harvesters though. So if he manages to hold out for just a little longer, then yeah, Anjew may have a shot at still taking this game. Oh well, his harvesters just got revealed though. This doesn't bode well for him. Pushes back another MCV. It's been really close though. It's been really, really close. The game is not yet completely over. Anjew just needs to... He can salvage the situation. He can maybe save his MCV. His army is just being too idle. A little too idle for a little too long. Oh man. Tanks are going down. Is this the last stand for Anjew? It's certainly starting to look like it. Oh, this army is being pincered. This was a really close game though. I've got to hand it to the man. This was extremely close despite the asset discrepancy that has prevailed, that has just persisted throughout the game. So really kudos to Anjew for being so stubborn enough to not quit until he had played out his last trump card. That was, yeah, exciting. We're going to be back in game number 2. See you in a sec.
Battle control terminated. Battle control initialized.
I say bring it on. Game number 2 being played on autumn leaves. It's actually Sampio. Let's disable the shroud so we can admire the tile set. You know what this reminds me of? When I was a kid, I don't know if anyone else has played this game because it was made by an Austrian developer, but it managed to at least get some notoriety in the German-speaking market. I don't know if it was ever really big in the international market. I don't think so. It was called Industry Giant, and it was an industry simulation where you had those little, you basically had to build up an empire from scratch. You had those little cities where you could, just build up your supply chains, and it had a tile set. The seasons would change, and the autumn tile set was very, very reminiscent of this. I'm starting to wonder if there's maybe some of the trees that have been... No, but not quite. It's not quite there, but like 95% of the way. It looks gorgeous anyway, and it reminds me of my industry giant childhood, because I sunk probably close to 200 hours into that game. If anyone knows that game, it's been a blast. It really was a joy to play. And as a result, I just have a deep-rooted love for this sort of tile set. Also, the buildings look sort of similar-ish. It was a bit more modern, because in the first game, at least, you wouldn't play through all the ages. You had some. You would maybe start in the 50s and then go your way up to the distant future of 2030, which is now just around the corner. Let's be real. All right. So with that out of the way, that little tangent, let's get back into the game. Double ref opener with the 20 rifle stack from Gacius. He likes to play it safe. Anjew this time around, interestingly on the map, much larger with much longer rush distances. He goes for double ref into 15 rifles. Huh. Peculiar. But anyway, both getting their oil derricks safely, and engineers scurrying away into the corners of the map, I guess. There's nothing really to capture. So what's the plan for you, my little buddy? Oh, he's trying to take the oil right under the nose of Gacius. In the early game, this traditionally is very unlikely to work, because your opponent has a 90% chance of having their screen fixed on this location anyway. But maybe he's busy with an engagement, who knows? Maybe there's gonna be a little distraction. Ooh, rocket soldiers. Okay, his allies. So Gacius went for France this time around, so the Ranger. I was thinking of this being an APC drop, but it doesn't appear to be the case. Oh man, does anyone remember the mod map? I had the... once upon a time, I wanted to have the Ranger be an IFV. So I wanted to give it infantry-based weapons depending on the passenger to make it more useful. That turned out to be a terrible idea because they were way too fast and dealt way too much damage. And it was just super obnoxious dealing with them without insta-hit weapons. So basically, anything short of a Tesla coil would miss against the Ranger, and it would be super obnoxious to play against. But playing this modded map, because I think it was so scared with the help of someone else who helped realize this dream of mine of the and nightmare of pretty much everyone else of the IFV, allied IFVs in RA1. Yep, that used to be good times. But as it stands, not the case. No way. Oh, he's realized it. I think the tree line is gonna buy enough time. Oh, that was super close. Jeez, that was just basically 2 frames off of capping it. All right, there's an APC out again, and this must be 4 rockets. So the 4 rocket cheese this time around hasn't been revealed. Anjew is in a good position to make it work, unlike Gacius, who managed to fumble it. Yeah, there is no field defense ready. Or is this Grenadiers? Flamers! Oh my goodness, what a timing window! Oh my goodness. And the power as well, and gets away scot-free. You gotta be kidding me. But the MCV's out. The MCV managed to get out just on time. Oh my lord, this must have been maybe... Oh my goodness, what a play from Anjew. Systematically dismantling the army. But, crucially, there is an expansion out. So, where does that leave us? Gacius is not in a position that strikes me as unwinnable. Not at all, not in the slightest, in fact. Ooh, the first tank goes down. As Soviets, that's doubly painful. Pew pew goes the little light tank. MCV is joining the fray, but it cannot deploy here. Down goes the Ranger and does the line of sight. Oh, it's so annoying. He's trying to find the... This tile is blocking him. He was trying to find an angle to get the MCV deployed, but it was not meant to be. That was a super tense moment here. Oh my lord, and the... Yep, It's still around, still lurking. This Flamer APC has wrought some havoc in the backlines. As a result, Gacius does not yet have his expansion out. This is a bad timing for him. Alright, he's managing to get some rockets as well. Oh, freebies. Yep, Gacius is forced into a light tank build. Oops, all light tanks. Oh, this army is gonna get caught off guard so hard. With its pants down. This is a complete wipe. Anjew steamrolling all over Gacius in this engagement. Oh. There is also the ever-looming threat of an APC, Flamer Bust. My goodness, look at the DPS. The pillboxes. Oh, 3 of them still survive. Anjew, get him out of there. They're heroes. Go on! No, not like this! Not like this! Anjew! Oh! Shame. What a shame. In the immortal words of J.C. Denton. What a shame. This could have been so much more. But he still manages to crack a refinery open, and as a result, look at this harvester saturation. This is long distance mining all the way to the bank. The income of Gacius, that's some welfare stuff right now. Still a good position for Gacius, not economically speaking, but in terms of his map positioning. Because he's managed to push back Anjew and keep him honest. Keep him on his toes. Secondary army is just safeguarding the MCV, you know, in case it has deployment issues yet again. So many deployment issues, it's gonna get PTSD. Light tanks have found the MCV, please deploy. Anjew, my friend. This was not the wisest of choices. Oh, he's killing off the husk as well. I mean, he's up against Soviets, so that wasn't really a threat, but it's good practice regardless. Man, those light tanks have done a number. Finding the MCV just at a pivotal time. Ooh, big flank though. Big flank. If this gets all the way into the base, there is kind of an early warning post in the form of the oil derrick. So that's the canary in the coal mine. If that dies off, then you know that something's fishy. Ooh, the long distance mining harvesters are gonna get blasted here. Good hustle. 2 down. The third one just narrowly escaping. And Anjew has established his base as well. Oh, what a surgical strike! Anjew, my man. Has he done it? Has he done it here? The light tanks cannot really chase, and oh my goodness. How many harvesters has he killed here? That was like the 4th or 5th harvester in the span of 20 seconds. And the light tanks cannot be not kite around the heavies, because they are gonna get blasted and pelted. Light tanks are getting decimated by the rockets as well, and there was no threat of this ever dying off. So good hustle. Okay, there is now a couple mediums mixed in here. Anjew's secondary army is coming in hot and just trying to take out some ore refineries, as well as the war factory, which is in a very exposed position. Ooh, this is gonna get expensive as fuck. Okay, pillboxes. Ooh, the war factory, if that goes down. He's spamming harvesters as well. Feels that he's too behind to afford tanks here, which is probably correct. My goodness, another harvester. And this time there's no war factory, so it's gonna take a long time until he recovers. But he's managed to somehow push Anjew back on the main base. What a cutthroat game, just no time for tech. This has been all-out aggression. Ooh, I like this style a lot here. Alrighty. Where does that leave us? 50k over 36k, but Gacius is down for the count, but he's not out yet. 5 harvesters, so he's managed to somewhat rebuild. His war factory is crucially still missing from the build queue. But he's got a sizable army left, with some wind-up toy tanks. Is probably building... yeah, combat time is looking good for Anjew. Probably building... No, just refineries. He needs to recover economically. Feels that he's not in a position to do so. To build a war factory just yet. Alrighty. That's the harvesters from Anjew going down immediately. One of them taking a very special route. That is also going to be an ore refinery down. Oh, this is a well-fortified position. Just holding their ground around the Khan yard. You shall not pass. This is some Helm's Deep level shit. Some very defensible position. Ooh, those 3 tanks have been sort of forgotten about. What's the army value looking like? It's... yeah, Anjew is ahead, but not by the largest of margins. And this side is completely undefended. He feels he's got so much pressure on the top side that he can afford basically foregoing his defenses on the southern perimeter. That may come back to bite him in the arse if this game continues at this trajectory. Yeah, okay, he noticed it immediately. Ore truck being salvaged as well. So not the worst showing. Gacius is well fortified here, but Anjew is attacking into the pillbox line with the heavies, just shaving them off here and there. Pretty good. Good hustle. His heavies could stand to do so much damage. Oh, Gacius has actually managed to take the old Eric of Anjew off the back of this as well. This must have been a while ago, huh? Alright. Just a little skirmish here. He's trying to find a flank. Huge infantry battalion, but no front line to speak of. Could maybe merge with these tanks. And what are you doing with those 3 heavies? They're sitting completely idle, my friend. On a map this large, though, it's really hard to keep track of everything that's going on. This would, if anything, this would be a good timing for tech from Anjew. One yak could turn the tide of battle because you would basically just be able to reveal the entire map in a matter of 5 seconds. Alright, there's a big engagement here. Lots of infantry, but the front lines are not yet crumbling. And Anjew can afford to rebuild flame towers. So he's still in an okay-ish position. Yep, the army being pushed back almost immediately. Oh boy, back to light tanks we are, huh? Yep. Light tank wind-up toy time. Welcome to 5 Aces toy reviews. This time we're going to be taking a look at the light tank. It is a very mobile wind-up toy. Has a battery duration or half-life of about 27 seconds if we take the average game time, and it does a lot of damage to the user, traditionally. Ooh, the crushes. Does not do a lot of damage to the enemy, but a lot of damage to the end user indeed. The armies are drying up here. Gacius is pretty much out of options on the southern perimeter. Ooh, he's gonna find another unsupported MCV. That's juicy. This is move command. What the fuck? What is happening here? Oh. Oh my goodness. You know what happened? He has selected all of his rockets. He has double-clicked the, I think it's the T key by default, where if you double-click the select all unit keys of a certain type key, then, oh my goodness, that's so bad right now. So if you do that, basically, you're selecting all units across the map to attack a certain specific target. That's exactly what's happening to those rocket soldiers right now. And I presume they're going to be taken out by this one techie who is in their way. Yikes! That was the misclick of doom. Oh, you never want to see that. Anjew is feeling a bit too comfortable here, though. Yeah, finally deciding to take out the remainder of the base. Man, those rockets have actually done something. They've killed a harvester. Oh wait, that civilian is neutral. Whoops. Man, how is this game not over yet? I don't know where we're standing anymore. It's a 15k lead for Anjew, but he has blown bigger leads than this. Good lord, the techie's on general status right now. Must have killed something important, huh? Pew pew pew, look at the rate of fire. Gets to be twice as excited with his hands up. I've always thought it's so hilarious that on the one hand they're panicking, but they're not panicking enough that they're not throwing rocks at tanks. Those civilians are fucking monsters. Ranger has been built here. I swear to God, those civvies are just absolute heroes. Oh no. Oh no, the heavy. It's being taken out, it's being pelted. Whew, this has been an open multi-prong game, to say the least. Most of the mining operations for Gacius have now been relegated to the southeastern perimeter, or eastern perimeter. He is trying to re-establish a base. Nothing is here on this side of the map. Yeah, Anjew is doing likewise. He's trying to repopulate all his expansions. Man, those flame towers are getting some money shots in. Ooh. Scorching toasty! That is a lot of pink numbers popping up. Yep. That was very much unsuccessful. I'm hearing a Tesla coil. Oh, there it is. Man, those flame towers have been so good. This is actually gonna thwart the push. On the other side, the rebound. We're seeing some more aggression onto the harvesters. 2 of them going down almost immediately. The third one to follow swiftly. And number 4 is gonna escape narrowly. Ooh, insane crushes here from the light tanks. Oh my lord. The light tanks just running circles around the infantry. This was absolutely insane. Oh my... Oh, there's finally a radar dome out for Anjew. He's feeling comfy enough to go with the radar tech. The economy is stalling for both. 20k lead though for Anjew now. It's, the situation is getting more and more dire by the minute. 1 flame tower, yet again enough to hold the line for a little bit. For honestly a bit longer than it is supposed to. Harvesters are now being pushed away. This army is still enough to take out this base. Despite the fact that Tesla coils are a guaranteed one-shot kill on a light tank. What's he building? Tesla coils, heavy tanks, no air force to speak of. He is going for the jugular. He is trying to end the game now. Is that an assault move? Yeah, there's an assault move onto the base. Straight up. Yeah. Change it into an attack move. There we go. Well, where's the army for Gacius? I doubt this is gonna be enough. Gacius is losing his war factory here before the engagement even starts, so there is no vehicle reinforcements for the time being. The MCV is down as well. Gacius is in big trouble. He basically has nothing to his name except this one little army. So the light tank crushes, he's got 3 more light tanks. The crushes need to be out of this world. Oh wait, he's got 4. The crushes have to be out of this world if he wants to take this game. But it's appearing to be more and more unlikely. This is starting to look like a draw. There is the airfield. Only 6 minutes until the first parabombing round comes in. And also, these mining operations have been left undisturbed. Gacius felt the need, he felt pressured enough to move back. Yeah, he's trying to find connections with the light tanks, it's just not happening. They're not frontliners. There are many things, harassment tools, wind-up toys, super annoying, but frontliners they are not. They certainly are not. As a result, it is looking more and more like not a decisive, but a dedicated 1-1 draw. And that was valiantly fought from both. Yeah, GG is being called, rightfully so. There was nothing left here for Gacius to win on this map. Man, what a series of 2 games. Game number 1, you know, thwarted flamer push. Game number 2, the flamers, the retaliatory flamers from Anjew were just absolutely impeccable. Throwing off the timing, it was a bit lucky that Gacius got out his MCV regardless. That prolonged the game for maybe like 16 more minutes. But at the end of the day, it had caused critical damage because Gacius was forced into rebuilding so many structures. He lost his refineries early on, could not establish his economy, could not get his tank production rolling. Had to resort to light tanks as well, which is always kind of iffy. Yeah, absolutely crazy game. With that, I'm gonna leave you with those Charlie plane scenes from a gorgeous map. We're gonna zoom out all the way. My goodness. Yeah. So let me know if you've played Industriegigant or Industry Giant. One of the games of my childhood, one of the defining ones next to Command & Conquer, and now we're getting the Industry Giant tile set into Command & Conquer, which is awesome. It's not quite it, but it looks similar. So kudos to whoever created those sprites. They look fantastic. Thank you for watching. More content on the way. Also some, as I've promised, some non-OpenRA related content. There is going to be Company of Heroes 2 at the very least, and maybe something else as well. And Shadow Paradise. So stay tuned. I'll see you next time. 5 Aces out.
Battle control terminated.